Welcome to sports.com. My name is Greg Dorman, and thanks for joining us on Rally Notes. I hope you just enjoyed the music movement by Daryl Reed, and you're going to stick around for another edition of Rally Notes with tonight's guest, ex-Subaru Rally Team USA driver from Boston, Massachusetts via Skype, Ramana Lagemann. Welcome to the show, Ramana.
Thanks a lot, Greg. Thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
My pleasure. Listen, you're back in the rally car after a while. You brought a new car to 100 Acre Wood Rally, 2008 STI. That unfortunately ended for you on stage 8 of the rally. And why don't you take us through that event and that first event in that new car?
Yeah, well, we're really looking forward to it. The real reason we were back at 100 Acre Wood in that car is just because Subaru supports that class so well, and we were really excited. The car came from Vermont Sports Car. It had one rally event on it. It had run a rally a few weeks before in Canada. And prior to that, it was Ken Block's Trax car. So it's had a little bit of an interesting history, and we prepped it, got it down to the shop at DSG, tuned it, and we're really excited. Everything was looking quite good, and we started out in the event, and it's quite a fast event, as you know, and you need quite a bit of commitment to go fast and win stages there. So we kind of felt it out the first day. It's like I said, it's a new car for me. Moving to the 2008 body style, the handling is just a little bit different. So there's a little bit of getting used to the car and everything. But Chrissy and I work so well together that it became pretty comfortable pretty quickly, and we started winning stages in our class, which was great. And I think the last stage of the first day, I think we came in third on that stage at night. So we were really poised to do quite well on the second day, I think. So we started out again, just comfortably, and it was, I guess, one of the stages was canceled. So it's stage 7. We started out, had a solid time, and actually I think Travis Hansen beat us by a couple seconds over a 10-mile stage or something. So it was close, and the competition was good and everything, and just, again, starting to get comfortable in the car. And then we actually reran that stage, so it was stage 8, same direction as stage 7, and got out there, and I think about halfway, 2/3 of the way through, we just had a puncture. And just prior to where we went off, it was a left-hander, and I just went a little bit wide on that corner. And to be honest, I haven't had a puncture in a really long time. All last year, we didn't have any punctures. I can't remember the last time I've had a puncture in the middle of a stage. So, when I made that left turn and went a little wide, I thought I had just gotten offline into the marbles because it was a little bit soft there. And I said, I had this internal dialogue. I was like, Ramana, don't do that again. Just stay on line, hit your marks, hit the apexes, and just drive fast and don't make stupid mistakes. And we had a 120 meter straight, and I shifted into 5th gear. We were going, and I just barely touched the brakes, and as soon as I touched the brakes, the car didn't slow right, and it dragged off to the left a little bit, and I tried to turn in, and the car would not turn in, and this is probably around 85 miles an hour in 5th gear, and that was it. We were just off the road and skittering through the trees and somersaulting and cartwheeling, and again, it's a little bit out of character for me. I haven't had a big crash in a rally car in probably 10 years. I did have that X Games practice crash, but that wasn't really a rally. But so it was tough to take. We were leading our class and doing well, and looking forward to starting off the season well, since we missed the first event, and going for the championship. So obviously we're really on the back foot now.
Yeah, that was a pretty big crash. I was in the car after you, probably about maybe 3 or 4 maybe cars behind you, and coming up to that moment where you rolled, where I saw Red Cross, and there you guys were. I'm glad you and Chrissy Beavers, your co-driver, were okay from that crash, because that car looked pretty hurt. Is the car all right now? Is it ready to go to Olympus? Are you back into the fight?
Yeah, I'm, we were chatting before the show started. I'm no mechanic, so when I saw the car, I thought it looked pretty horrendous, and I didn't think that there was much hope of reviving that shell. But once we got all the parts taken off, yeah, it actually did take quite a big hit. When we were skittering off the road, we kind of ran along this bank, this embankment, and took down a couple small trees, and we're heading towards two kind of big trees, and we thought it was going to be a big hit. And then there was an embedded rock in the ground, and took what took most of the hit for the car, and it actually ripped out the whole core support, and the underbody just completely ripped the skid plate off and actually pretty much destroyed the engine, and that's what sent us into a roll. So the body damage itself was fairly minor. It was more the engine was completely destroyed, and a few other small things. So
Yeah, like I said,
no, the car is pretty much all back together, and we will be at Olympus.
yeah, I'm glad you guys are okay, and I'm glad you guys are coming back at Olympus. You joined the season at Olympus last year in 2007 STI. You mentioned before that it's a quite difference between your last year's car and 2008 model. What bigger differences are between the two cars?
You know, it's tough for me to describe. I mean, I know this rear suspension in the new car is completely different, but as far as how it handles and how it drives differently, um, I have a tougher time in the new car being smooth in the medium to medium high speed corners. High speed corners are fine. Low speed corners are fine. I just have a tough time getting the car set up and balanced through those medium speed corners. So I'm sawing at the wheel a lot more. I'm not as smooth as I normally am. I like to think of myself as a fairly smooth driver. So, it just takes some getting used to, and getting the diff mapping right, getting the dampers right. I mean, we just got the car right out of the box on a base setting and really didn't change a thing. Um, and we're still competitive, so that's good. That's very promising for moving forward. I mean, it's a new car, so it should be faster than the old one. It's just a few minor nuances with the handling, I think, that make the biggest difference.
Well, like I said, I'm glad you guys are okay, and I'm glad you guys are going to be back at Olympus and fighting for the championship. It looks like the fight is going to be tight because the field in super production class is pretty tight. I'm myself in there, and we're with Evan Klein. We're sitting fifth overall in the championship right now, but we'll see how that goes for the rest of the year. You've been involved with as a driving instructor with AMG, Audi, Subaru Rally. How is that helping you, during the rallies? Like, you also did some motorcycle racing. How's that set up your mind for rally racing?
Well, I think any experience you can have in a car is helpful, because rallying, as you know, is about adaptability. It's about experiencing something and adjusting to that second by second. So as much experience and seat time as you have, it's all helpful. But honestly, there's nothing that really compares to rallying, if you ask me. I mean, motorcycling, I just do it because it's fun. It's a big challenge. It's relatively cheap compared to rallying. And when I wasn't rallying, I wanted to do something, and I was riding a little too fast on the street. So that's why I got a track bike. But all the instruction, it helps because it actually makes you analyze your own driving and analyze what makes people smoother and faster. So it's just, it's all different experiences. I think one of the reasons Chrissy and I were discussing this, because she rode with Tanner Faust, obviously, and one of the reasons I think he's such a great driver is he drives everything under the sun, and all that experience is really beneficial, I think.
You started your racing career in the rally car, yeah, I should say, in '99 at Main Forest Rally. Is that your favorite rally of the championship?
That's a great rally. Last year, I really enjoyed that rally. We've lost some of the kind of hallmark stages like Parmacini Long, which was like 25 miles, and it was a really big challenge because there's so many different rhythm changes and styles of driving required just on one stage, and plus it's in the middle of the summer, and the dust is suffocating and everything. But last year was a lot of fun. You know, they've been limited with their roads, but the group of stages they put together last year were just such a great mix. And but is it my favorite rally in the U.S.? I would say no. I'd say, ironically, it's one rally I've only entered 3 times. It's LSPR. That's probably my favorite rally. It's again another huge challenge, going fast over crests with very narrow roads, and really committing. That rally for me is a lot of fun. And another rally which we no longer have, which is Cherokee Trails down in Tennessee, which we ran in the early 2000s. Also another fun, technical, challenging rally.
Definitely a great rally. That was in 2002 and 2003. Those are the years where you ran in a Subaru Rally Team USA. You ran the Subaru WRC car as one of the few drivers probably in US. How was that experience for you back then?
I mean, it was a dream come true, obviously. You know, I had just started my career, and when I started rallying in my 1986 or 85 or 86 VW Golf, I just did it for fun. And I never thought, you know, as much as as I dreamt of, you know, driving for a factory team and everything, at that time, it didn't seem possible. There were only a few factory supported drivers in the US. And so I was kind of, you know, I had 1 year in a Group N car in the US, and then I got selected to drive for Subaru. So it was after my second year of driving, and really my first full year of driving. So it was a big wake-up call. I mean, you go from driving a VW Golf that you and your friends run to a year and a half later driving for ProDrive and having ex-champions as your teammate. And it was, you know, it was a dream. It was a job, but it was a dream. And the car we drove was pretty special. You mentioned it as WRC, not quite WRC. Actually, it had more power than a WRC car, but we didn't have a WRC transmission. So we had an H-pattern gearbox with a 40 mil restrictor. And geez, I think that would have to be like one of the ultimate rally cars, because, you know, you have the chassis technology from a WRC car from the early 2000s, but you have an H-pattern gearbox and you have a lot of horsepower. So, you know, you just fling that thing into corners and shoot up 4 rooster tails, and God, it was just, that car is fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely a great car. I've seen the car on the stages at STPR, I believe, in 2003. And it was a great looking car. You also took part of Rallycross. I know you went to the Irvingdale Speedway in California 2 weeks ago. What do you think about those events? Are you going to be taking part of those, or are you just going to focus on rallying?
Hey, Greg, I'm sorry. I think I just lost you there a little bit.
I was asking about Rallycross. I believe I saw you on the pictures at the Irvingdale Speedway. And are you planning to join the Global Rallycross Series, or are you just focusing on rallying?
Yeah, for sure. You know, I think if you talk to anyone who's competing in Rallycross right now, whether it's Tanner or Reese or Dave Mira or Travis when he did it, I think they all would say that they'd rather go stage rallying. I mean, it's what we all love. It's our passion, and it's such a huge challenge. And Rallycross has some of the elements of stage rally, plus some of the elements of drag racing, and some of the elements of road racing, and a little bit of demolition derby thrown in. So it's a great spectator-friendly package, and undeniably, I think it's the future. If rallying's going to go anywhere, it's going to go somewhere with Rallycross. We've been trying for years to make rallying kind of elevated as far as people's perceptions and their interest in it, but I just think it's not an American sport. You know, I mean, people don't want to hike out into the woods and put the effort into watching a car fly through the forest, despite how appealing it is. I mean, have a lot of friends who are rally newbies who come out, they see it, and they're super stoked to see it. They can't believe how fast the cars go. But at the end of the day, rallycross is condensed into a nice format for spectators and for TV. And I hope to be doing something in rallycross in 2012. I don't think anything's going to happen this year. Kind of the plans, the schedule for this series came together so late. It was really, really tough to get anything unless you're already established with some sort of a deal. So 2012 is the plan for rallycross,
Well,
and hopefully rally too.
good luck in 2011 in super production class. Besides the point that I'm going to be competing against you, hopefully see you at Olympus, and thank you for joining me tonight. It was a pleasure.